Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kickback Bonfire, where the purpose is to kick back, relax, have fun talking about life and its past memories and to the modern day. My name is Hunter, and today I'm joined by.
His friend Sierra.
So, Sierra, what do you like to talk about? We first started this podcast, first episode. What should we do?
I think for this first episode we should talk about how I think we should just make our viewers know on who we are and why did we make this podcast.
So then, let's talk about our friendship. Then, so
Yeah.
you want me to start off, or you want to start off?
Uh, I guess you start off.
All right. So basically, our friendship? What basically started off freshman year. Obviously, we never knew each other the first day of school,
Hmm.
because I remember the first day of freshman year I was nervous as heck because didn't know anyone. Only had very few friends. I was going to high school with me, very few friends. But I remember showing up freshman year, dressed up somewhat nicely, and I remember I was just so nervous. I'm like, crap, I don't want to be late to any of my classes. I know we have this period time block, and then the time in between periods. You gotta find your classes. So I remember my mom took me extra early to school, and I just went walking around with my schedule. And well, no, we didn't even get our schedules. They had us wait at the I don't know if you remember, Sierra. They made us wait at the gym where they did like this whole rally. Yeah, first day I remember it was when I showed up there. Then I found one of my friends. Um, we just sat right next to each other. But I remember I was just sitting there. I'm like, great, high school started. It's gonna be a long 4 years. Um, I was sitting right there. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make any friends here. It's just, almost like a normal high schooler will think that they're not gonna make any new friends. They're gonna stick with the old ones. But I remember, what is it? The rally, what took almost an hour or so or two. I know, and then
Oh
obviously
yeah, by
everyone else was all
painstakingly an hour of
excited, and I was right there. I'm
awkwardness,
like,
but yeah.
what the hell are we doing? I'm like, I thought high school doesn't do this. But yeah, I think after the rally, what they did like this, where we all walked down on the floor, and then they separated everyone by groups or whatever, and then what is it? They had these upperclassmen. I think they were like what, juniors, seniors,
Yeah, yeah.
or sophomores. Well, there we go. And then they will take a group of 5 or 10, and I remember my group. What is it? It was me, two other boys, and three girls. I don't remember their names, sadly, but we were talking, we were exploring, the campus and all that stuff, and then they made us play like these little games. I don't know if they ever did that with you. Um, I still remember everything. I don't know why, but I still do. But yeah, I remember, what is it? We sat down in a group and we're playing like Duck Duck Goose or something like that. And then after that game, we played another one where you say two truths and one lie. I remember one girl saying oh, I went to Paris, I went skydiving, and I have 10 dogs. And I thought, her having 10 dogs was a lie. And no, that was one of the truth. One of the lies was basically her going to Paris. Well, if you look at her, she
Well, duh.
basically looked like, she came from like a wealthy family. And I'm like, oh well, that's, that doesn't a lot, that doesn't sound like a lie, but it was apparently. But apparently having 10 dogs wasn't. I'm like, why would you have that
Yeah, yeah.
many? I have four, and that's too
Yeah.
much already. But what is it then? I remember there was one girl that was checking me out, and I remember, I was single at the time, and I'm like, first day of school, I'm like being checked out by a girl. I'm like, like, although there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not one of those that I don't like really being checked out. If I'm nervous and everything, then But fast forwarding a bit, we get to our classes the next day because I think that first day we didn't even get to go to our classes. I think the second day we went to our classes,
Oh,
and was it?
oh no, no. We did go to our classes. We went to our
Oh yeah, we
second
did. It made no sense at
half
that point.
classes after lunch.
Our yeah, where we went
Yeah,
to all of our
yeah. But
classes.
then the next day, that's when we went to our first
And I
half
remember
class.
that's where I saw Sierra, but we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
And I remember I was just nervous. Yeah, it was that class was awkward because everyone's like, we don't know what to do. Where do we sit and all this stuff. And the teacher had already assigned seats already too. I don't know if you remember that. And I was like,
Oh yeah,
where
there
do I
was
sit? And I
assigned
was hoping
seats.
like I sat somewhere in the back, but no, the teacher had me sit in the front. And did you? Or I could have sworn you sat like
Yeah,
somewhere in
bro.
the back
I
or
think I
like
sat in the
on the
front
because
too.
I was sitting
I don't know.
yeah because I was sitting in the front left
Back. I
in
think
the
it was
corner,
back middle.
and I just remember you sitting somewhere in the back,
Hmm.
and then I remember I was just nervous and everything. Just I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go in, get my work, and leave, and go to my next class. Kind of go in, do your work, and get out. But after what is it? A few times, well, some time has passed by.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We had to do what is it? I think it was like a group project, but in class only. Yeah, she made us do it, and
yeah.
she
I
told
think it was
us
one of those projects
she
again,
told us like, oh,
which you made
you
us
guys could
do.
pick your partners, and
So
I'm like, I don't know any. Like, they was still, we're like what after the first 2 months or 3 months of school,
no, bro. It was like the first. Yeah, I think it's about after the first month or
first
so.
month, so somewhere like some time has passed by, like a good chunk of time where I was already familiar with everything. I had some friends, but obviously, you're still new, so you don't know, you don't want to offend your new
Yeah,
friends by saying something. And me and Sierra had talked, but not like a
yeah,
lot. We
yeah,
only
yeah.
talked in class, never outside of class. And we're those classmates friends. At the time we're like we talk in class, but
Oh
outside
yeah,
of
yeah,
class, we're like, screw you, we're not gonna talk to you anymore. When we're outside of class, in a way. But once a group project came up, and that's where
oh yeah,
we had to
yeah,
figure out like,
yeah, yeah. Of
she
course.
told us like, oh, you guys could pick your own part. I'm like, I don't know anyone. And I'm like, oh well, Sierra's right there. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see if no one has him in his group or anything, or he needs one more person, because I think it was what, groups of two,
Three.
three. There we go. So then it was me and Sierra and one other person, but we don't remember his name. Um, I don't remember what was the group project of. Do you remember what it was?
It was something about a book or something. I think we're reading a book again.
Uh,
I think it was the first book of the year. I forgot what the book was.
yeah, and the teacher made us what is it? Were like what it was like two or three different characters in the book, and then we had to pick a role, and then almost like a play where like everybody has their
Yeah,
own
yeah,
characters
yeah,
under roles
yeah,
in the
yeah,
book.
yeah,
That they'll read off their part, and then after that the other person read off, and then the other person read off, and in a way the teacher told us what to kind of act like in character, because she was grading us on how we read the book and how a little bit in character we want to get.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Honestly, me, I'm like, hell no, I don't do that. I'm not an actor nor a
yeah.
voice actor. I'm not gonna do none of that.
Hmm. Actually, like I remember the funny thing about our group was we were the last groups to actually
Yeah,
form
we were
because
the
we
most
were the
quietest one
three
in
guys
class.
were
Like
quiet,
if you
like fully quiet.
like if you thought of the kids that were like, oh, they always sit in the back of the class and they're quiet. That's where us. We were those kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But what is it? I remember what is it halfway
yeah,
through that project, because that took like what, I saw that what 2 months, almost 3 months in a way. Not the reading, but like going back, finding evidence, and making the
eh,
essays. Shorter? I don't know. For me, it
yeah.
felt long
No,
because obviously I hate
I think
essays.
it's a bit shorter. Yeah, I
I don't
think
know.
it
It
was
took
like
it took long.
I don't know. I think it was like 3 weeks or something. Like I don't know because like the first week I know we just had to do the tag, title, author,
Yeah,
genre, and then read through it, highlight, annotate, right. And second week read it in
paper and turn. I
class,
remember what
and
is it?
then
when we did the
Third,
tagging,
make
the
sure you
teacher's like,
actually do
okay,
the
once you
papers
guys
and
doing the
stuff.
tagging, comes back, and I want to look over it, and and I'll give you a grade on it. I remember she made me go back and she's like, you did the tagging wrong, Lupe.
Mhm.
And I'm like, damn it. I'm like, come on, teacher, throw me a bone. I'm retarded over here. I don't know this. Um, but what is it? But after that, like we got all of
Yeah,
that
bro.
done. Some time passed by.
Uh,
Like ooh, I think it was near our final time for first semester, and then I think you, Sierra, you
yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
screw around and wanted to play what tic tac toe, from what I remember. I don't know what made you wanted to play that game.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I was just bored, like
Yeah,
in between those little those little time, like it's like after SSR, and we were just like
yeah. Because I
and
remember
like the
what you
shit that
just
was
turned
going
around.
on
You
our
didn't
phones,
ask me
like,
for anything. Like you stayed
why
dead
not?
silent. You
You
just
know?
waited until the teacher was looking away in the front playing, and then we just started. Like he just looked at me, had the game ready, and
Yeah,
just he just pointed at it, and I'm like, sure, why the hell not? I'm like. I figure we're not gonna get caught, even though both of our asses were sitting in the
yeah. Why the hell
front.
not?
Yeah, we were sitting in the front, and like we were in the same row, sitting in the
Got
front.
caught.
It's just you were sitting in
Yeah, and
front of
then we
me. I
got
was
caught
one chair
later.
behind you, so we were sitting like right in the front, right in the spanking middle where the teacher could see us. And I remember, what was it? I'd always tie the
Yeah,
game. You
yeah,
always got mad, although you never said
yeah,
anything, but you always got mad because I always tied the game because you were trying to win it.
yeah. It was like, it-
And
yeah,
then
bro. I was
I'm
like,
over here. I'm like, nah,
I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
piss
the
you
hell
off
is
right now.
this stuff, bro?
I'm gonna tie the
Like,
game, and we did that so much time. And I remember what those few times where we almost got caught,
yeah,
and then I remember, yeah, we did get caught within the same day,
yeah.
the same class
The one
period
time we did
time.
get caught.
And I remember the teacher just saw, and she just went, "Grow up, guys." It was funny because you turn around. I couldn't stop laughing in a way,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it was funny. She 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 didn't get mad, but she's like she's supposed to grow up. Obviously, us freshmen doing stupid freshman stuff. I believe after that, we started hanging out a lot more
yeah, yeah,
around lunchtime. What is it? Um,
yeah, yeah,
I remember there was a few things we did, but I don't remember them
yeah.
exactly in our lunchtime.
I mean, well, at that time, back in the freshman year, I hung out with the
Yeah,
boys,
I remember.
which I made good friends with. There's like 13 of us, so I don't
Yeah,
really.
I was.
I think you were with some other folks at the time, and I was with my boys. I don't really
No,
remember any
the only thing
antics
what that we've done is
which you
maybe
and me did
anything that we've done together was in
together
class,
at
and
that
which was
time.
funny because they were risky too. We could have gotten in trouble, not in deep in trouble, but that where the teacher
Yeah,
will
yeah,
get
yeah,
annoyed. I remember, what is it? Your phone kept on going off, your notifications and stuff,
yeah, yeah.
and the teacher got annoyed of it. It was like a bubble popping or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah,
the
and then
Android
and I remember what the teacher's
default
like,
one. It was
guys,
like
turn that off, and you didn't turn it off. I remember
Yeah, I
that,
didn't
and
turn
I
it
remember
off
the
because like
teacher got so annoyed. And
oh
what is
well,
it?
who knows? Yeah,
I remember my freshman
yeah,
year, although it's not related to of us, of us, our friendship. But I remember, what is it?
yeah. Well,
Every
hey,
year I always hung out, like what
it's
is it?
freshman
Where the
year. It's
buses,
freshman year.
where the buses get dropped off, for those of you who know, who know us in a way. But for those of you who don't, your homework is to figure out who we are. Um,
Yeah,
but um, but our high school, what is it? We had, was
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
the bus area was like in the back-ish where the office was at, and then there's yeah, and then there was like a hallway through the library and all the way to like the quad
Yeah,
area,
it
because
was
we had
near
two
the
quad areas,
library.
one by the cafeteria and then there was one by the library area. And I remember every morning, I don't know if you ever had to dealt with it, because I know you rode the bus.
Yeah,
What is it? Yep, I always got dropped off.
yeah. Our was
Um,
every day, 4 years straight.
and what is it? I remember at the it was second semester, and some kid kept on like using a fart bomb or whatever. Those little bags that you punch and hit, and then that you toss, and then like there was always that gust of wind. That,
Oh, I
the little
swear to
gust of wind.
God.
You never really felt it, but it came through that hallway,
Yeah.
and it stank up the whole area, and then everyone would leave. And I remember the
Oh yeah,
security
yeah,
miss lady would always go up there and get mad and yell at the people like, "Who did that?" and this
yeah,
and that. And I remember, what is it? Me and my friends, we stopped hanging
yeah,
out
yeah,
outside in the quad area. We just started hanging out in the library, where the area where they allow you to talk, but don't be too loud, obnoxious. And what is it? I remember someone opened the
yeah, yeah.
door, tossed something in, and then exploded, and it turned out to be a fart bomb. And oh my god, everyone had to evacuate the.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, then again, it wasn't as bad as. I mean, at least that was in the open outdoors, dude. Like, remember freshman year? Every time I went to seventh period PE class, swear to God, someone used a fart bomb in the boys' locker room every single time. I would say like the good, like, first semester freshman year. That's when it's
Yeah.
when the boys'
Well, I
locker rooms
remember.
was always with a fart bomb
Well,
always.
I never had a dealt with that since I had it. Because I literally had PE freshman year right after lunch. Um, so I had the brunt of the heat, where it was really
Okay,
hot,
yeah.
and you just ate. But obviously, me back then, I never ate lunch. I only ate breakfast, but didn't eat lunch. I didn't eat until I got back home, which we got out at what, at 3:30? Not 3:30, at 3:16.
Mm.
So I ate when I got home. But
Yes.
shoot, I have some crazy funny boys locker room stories. I remember, what is it? Those people banging on their lockers, yelling, like "fuck this" or all of that, or and freaking. I remember someone threw a
Yeah, bro.
condom
Yeah.
full of water. I don't know how they did it, but they tossed it, and it landed on a kid and popped. And then I remember, what is it? One of the other funny stories. What is
Oh
it?
yeah, yeah,
And it was in the same, because how the boys locker room was like a horseshoe. Like, there was one horseshoe, and then there's another horseshoe, being divided. And it was like, what, I think two or three horseshoes.
yes, yeah,
And
yeah,
I remember, what is it?
yeah,
Each
yeah. I would say
quarter
so. I
or
would say
something like
so.
that, they make us switch lockers, like to kind of move us around. And I
Yeah.
was I was in the last horseshoe, but it wasn't like a horseshoe. It was
Hmm.
like the third horseshoe, but like on the other row where it's not a horseshoe. But you could see the doors to go out into the gymnasium. These two guys,
Yeah.
freaking, this one guy got his friend, picked him up like if he was a woman, sat him down, picked up his legs, his butt was facing towards him, and started humping him, like
Oh
dead
damn.
ass humping him. And
Oh Lord.
his friend was just like, "Hey, bro, I don't know what you're doing, rape, rape." And I'm like, and then me and my friends were just changing out. We're like, "Oh no, we want to leave. We want no part of that," because because there was that one PE teacher that, well, he came out from the Marines, like years ago, but he was strict as hell, and he didn't take anything a
Yeah, yeah,
joke.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. He
me and
was.
my
He
friends, when we
was.
heard that, we quickly changed
Hmm.
out, threw everything in our lock, in the community lock that we had to share, and we put my lock, and we ran out those doors that led to the gymnasium, and we walked down. We're like, hell no, we want none of that. Like, we were saying, like, if we stayed there and we stared, we would have been next.
Yeah, bro. And this, ladies and gentlemen, when this is why we boys say whatever happens in
For
the locker
reasons
room
like
stays
that,
in the locker room.
because guys would
We
do
say that for a good
random
reason.
shit in the locker
So
room.
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, bro. Too much stuff
True.
that
I
happened
remember
there.
a kid pull out
Too
his
much stuff
Axe
that
cologne
happened
and a
in
lighter
those
and
boys'
start
locker
using it as a
rooms.
little
Too much stuff.
flamethrower. Um, I remember once, what is it?
Uh,
I had to go use
yeah,
the
bro.
restroom
Yeah.
before PE. These two dumbass kids were vaping, Obviously,
Yeah,
high school, a lot of kids vape and all that stuff. That didn't bother me. I didn't care. As long as you didn't get me involved or
like
anything, I
usual.
don't care. But these kids had to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
these
yeah.
stupidest kids because when you walk in,
Yeah, yeah.
they freaking vape right underneath the fire
They
alarm,
smoked. They
and they didn't
smoked under the
see it.
fire
And then
alarm.
once the alarm, once they had a big old cloud, all three of them once he puffed and stuff, they the fire alarm went out, and I was right there, because there was a
Yeah.
line to go to the bathroom in the locker room because obviously other kids had to use it too. Everyone walked out, and then but like when the fire alarm went off, these kids like looked at each other, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"What the
Yeah.
fuck?" And then they looked up, and they're like, "Oh shit, you fucking idiot!" And I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, all three of you are the damn idiots. Y'all should have seen that fire alarm right there. What do you guys expect? It wasn't gonna pick that up. And then the fire alarm went off, and then everyone left the bathroom.
Yeah,
I had
bro.
to go pee really badly. I'm like, fuck this, I ain't walking out. I'm gonna go use the restroom while the fire alarm was going off. And then I remember one of the PE teachers came into the bathroom, looking through the stalls and making sure there was no kid. I guess he didn't see me because I was in the last stall. And now another time, I'm like, I don't care if he says anything to me. I'm like, hey, I had to go pee, okay? Fire or no fire, I'm gonna go pee. Yeah, that was funny. And then I remember once they had to close the locker room. I don't
uh,
know if you remember that. Where like those this
bro.
one point of time where it was like, what, they closed the locker room for like a month or something.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
No, I think it was a month because it
Not a
got
month. It was
flooded
like two
and it
weeks.
smelled
About it was
like
about two
shit or
weeks.
something. Apparently, like what, the toilet water came back up or something, like, and it had poop and stuff. It happened freshman year. I remember it happened, and people were saying
Uh, did that
that
happen freshman year? I don't remember
it
that
smelled
happening
like
freshman
shit,
year.
like actual shit came out, and the whole boys' bathroom flooded.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, if it did happen, it was. I remember it's shorter, but who knows? It's been a while. It's been a while.
Now I remember it was like a month or something, and we couldn't go and change. So I remember we had to change outside. But I was always one of those. I was one of those that had, that always wore my shorts underneath my pants. So I'm like, take off
Bro,
my pants, my shorts are already on. Throw my pants in my backpack, and there we go. And I remember the PE teacher was yelling at us,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, oh, you guys need to leave your
Mm-hmm.
backpacks in the lockers. And we told her, like, they closed the the lockers. We can't go in. So then teacher says it's okay, because we were assigned, like, we always lined up by the wall. I wonder if they made you do
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
before they started making us line up outside, out by the basketball courts. But before we
Yes,
had to line
yeah,
up by the wall in the gymnasium and by our assigned numbers. I remember I was number one.
yeah, yeah.
Since I was the first one. No, I was number one, so I was the first one. So I remember the teacher asked me, he's like, "Oh, they locked the
I was like
bathroom,
6.
not the bathroom, but
Yeah.
the boys' locker room." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "What happened?" Like, "Well, apparently it flooded, and there's, and it smells really
Yeah.
bad." And I remember the moment they let us back into those locker rooms, it smelled really bad. Like, no one wanted to be in there. And I remember I went in, dropped my stuff, and walked the hell out
Mm-hmm.
because it smelled so bad. Like, you had to walk in wearing a gas mask if you want to be in there for more than a minute. But yeah, those are the crazy stuff that I did freshman year
Yeah.
and scene and stuff. Is there anything you want to add?
Too much to add, and many I will not be saying for this episode. But I guess I would say, well, since Hunter, has introduced himself. Well, I am Sierra. I'm the other host for this podcast. But so yeah, so me and Hunter, we met up in high school in our English class.
Bastard.
Me and him playing tic tac toe, right? But I guess bastard. But I guess, from the guys, from the folks who know me, I mean, I wasn't a popular guy at all, but I
No, that's
was,
the same with
you
me.
know,
I was never
some
the
folk
popular
knew
guy.
me and know of me, but yeah, yeah, but with mine, no one really associated us with one singular person. Like, oh, it was their group, it was his group. No, it was their group, since it was like 13 of us, and our shenanigans would be not anything bad, but just the shenanigans. Like, yeah, I remember the first day when I got accepted into this with my current boys from this year. We so in the snack bar, it was like, so the Pop Tarts were like a dollar. No, it was like 50 cents each for one Pop Tart, and we dropped, I think, $50. Yeah, so we dropped $50 worth of Pop Tarts, and it was just, it was just mayhem because like you could see us like all of us just having boxes and
You guys
boxes
dropped
of Pop
50
Tarts
bucks to
walking
buy
out
all those
of
freaking
the
Pop
area
Tarts?
of the snack
I
bar.
remember me and my friends were complaining. They're like, why they're always out? Like, why do they offer Pop Tarts if they're
Yeah,
always
yeah,
out of
and
it?
then
So now
we,
I know it's you guys.
yeah, 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 and me, and like honestly, that was the first time I actually ever tasted Pop Tarts in my life, and after that, I did
Well, that was basically
gain
like
a
that was
little
basically like your crack. You
obsession with
couldn't you
Pop
couldn't
Tarts
stop having
freshman
it. You need
year.
to get more.
I spent like, I think, yeah, I spent like, from the first semester. I think I spent like $30. So that's like what, 60? Yeah, it's about 60. No, I would say about 20
Uh,
bucks worth of Pop Tarts just the first freshman year, first semester. Yeah. Besides that, jumping off the wall was one of our antics. Messing around with the popular kids was our antics. Um, Yeah, yeah. So for those who know me, hey, nice. And for those who don't, well, this is the antics. If you don't remember me, um, me and my boys, we were the ones who walked around with about 13 of us, it, and we hanged out by the cafeteria right in front of the um, hall, right in front of the, what's called, the auditorium. Yeah. Besides that, we didn't. We had some shenanigans, but not that bad shenanigans. Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me and my boys didn't have much shenanigans, but for those who know of me and my boys, we had
you
some
gotta keep the
shenanigans
interesting
I can't
stuff for
talk
later.
about in this episode, so I'll save that for
Um,
later. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if we want to get people to watch the podcast, listen to the podcast.
I remember what is it? There's one thing that just popped up as you were talking about your freshman year. I remember what is it? The first or second day, like when we actually started going to our classes. I had Earth Science. Was this teacher? I forgot his name, but he was an
Oh yeah,
old fat guy. Everyone hated him. But the first day,
yeah.
oh no, yeah, you had
I
him.
mean, I
But no,
didn't.
everyone in
I,
my
I
class
mean, I
hated
didn't
him.
hate him. I
And I remember
actually
what is it?
like
I didn't
him.
hate him, but the first day the bell has not
Yeah,
rung. It
I
was like
had him.
2 minutes
I
or
had
3 minutes
him.
before the bell rung, and the teacher was telling me like, "You're late. Go up to the office and this and that."
Hmm.
And he made me go up to the office just because apparently I was late. Because but he
Yeah,
made me late just by going up to the office. I remember I hated that teacher.
yeah,
Like
bro.
just
Yeah.
off of that, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not giving him no second chance. He's already like he has something against me already. Like I didn't do nothing. I only walked in and he told me that I was late. So then what I ended up doing, I swapped over to, I switched earth science out for ag soil science. One of the beginning class you have to take for for agriculture. Because I saw more interested in interest to be in the agricultural and the FFA. It's it was something big. And I'm like, let me try that out. It's also freshman year. I did robotics. I remember I had fun with that too. Doing robotics, although it was stressful. Ended up quitting on my sophomore year. Me and a friend, we quit because we were at fair showing some animals. Um, but yeah, I remember what is it? Ag soil science coverage for earth science. So I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm like, if and that's the first time I knew. I'm like, oh, so like there's some classes out out there that you could substitute that will cover that fulfillment for the A through G requirements for high school, and that's where I started taking ag classes. Yeah. Um, I don't know. If there's anything
Yeah.
interesting that you did in sophomore year, junior or senior year? Obviously, G- oh yeah, I remember I
Uh,
took
I mean,
summer
like
school
summer
PE.
school. yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone had to take summer school PE because a lot of
Yeah,
us wanted to get
we
like
didn't want to do
language
another whole year of
after in
summer school.
sophomore year. So, oh
Oh yeah, PE.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, of PE. I guess that yeah, that I guess I can talk about some of the stuff that we did back in summer school. So me and my boys, we got separated since that's just how it was. 'Cause we were divided out of the three or four classes. Um, I mean, so
That
back in the
was
day,
20. Okay.
wait, so when was
Yes,
that
and
time, bro?
because
Like
freshman year was 2017,
2019?
2018.
No, like
So that would be 2018, the year of 2018.
18. Yeah, yeah. So yes, it was like it was like the early part of 2018, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was around mid
Oh,
2018 when the
I remember doing that because a
Halo
friend kept on
theme
telling
song
me that
meme
you're like,
and
hey, you should go do it,
boys
you should go do it.
singing it in the
And I
bathroom.
was like, no, 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 no. But but I remember what it. One of your boys came up to me,
I mean,
and he's like, he's like, hey Hunter, do you want to sign up, to be part of it? And I told him like, yeah, what time it'll be? They're like, oh, it'll be because I remember at what summer school we had our lunchtime, and then he was saying, was like, yeah, it'll be at lunchtime.
yeah,
We're all gonna
yeah,
meet up at the bathroom, but we don't want to make it look suspicious, and then he was explaining to me like, yeah, like
yeah,
at this time, just walk into the bathroom. Don't stand around. We don't want to make a big group. And yeah, I signed up and did it. Because I was peer pressured by a friend. Yeah, but
yeah,
um,
yeah. Yeah, so it was me and my boys who arranged it, and I still have the original. Like for those who know me, I still have the original video on my story highlights from 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 those days, and yeah, it was pretty funny. After we did it, one of the security
yep, I
guards, they
remember
actually just came
because I had a
in and
video of
like,
us
nope,
on the inside because I
everyone
remember you were
out,
standing on the
yeah, like,
outside ish, like you were one of the last people like on the because we formed a U form like those us covering all
I
the
mean, yeah, it
urinals,
was like
and then some was on the wall, and then some was covering the toilet stalls.
I was yeah, I was standing on the back
Yeah,
wall, like you know how you go into like into the entrance of the bathrooms. I would go if you like, I would
yeah,
be like
I was by
straight
one of the
ahead
urinals because
from
one
the
of our
entrance.
friends is
That's where I
both
was.
Sierra's friend as well, and he's my friend as well. I remember he was right there facing the urinal, looking back at us, smiling and taking a piss. And I remember like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I'm taking a piss. I have to go.
Yeah, bro,
And
it's
then we
hilarious.
still did the theme song, and I'm pretty sure there's a video out there. One of our boys, probably has one, of him pissing during that time.
There is
Yeah,
video.
but
Maybe I think so. I think there's a
what is
video.
it?
I think
The
there was a
security
video
came
about
in,
that.
and
But
I remember our other friend
yeah.
walked out
Besides
when he saw
that,
security, and
what?
because what didn't help, we
Yeah.
went like we all huddled up by the door, walked in as a big group, making it look like we were gonna about to do the biggest fight of summer school. Yeah, no, it looked like
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
about
I
to do
mean,
a
no,
big fight. Like
we were
it was
just do
about to be a
something. We were just do
UFC fight.
something.
It was gonna be one of them like Russian, where you bet money, and stuff. Even though none of that happened, he just saw us T posing, singing the
Yeah,
Halo theme
yeah,
song,
yeah, yeah,
and he was like, everybody out, out, and then we're all like, oh, and then but I
yeah,
remember what
yeah,
half the summer school kids that were there were like staring at staring at the boy bathroom. They just saw a huge group, a huge line walking out of boys.
yeah,
Yeah, that was fun. Um,
yeah, bro. Yeah, yeah. Besides that, I mean, me and my boys, we do mess around, but
and I
after
remember what is it? I only messed
summer
around
school
freshman year, as
PE,
you
we
probably saw
had
what we did in
tone it
class, and
down
after that, I
because
completely toned it down. Even summer school PE, I toned it down. Then what is it? Sophomore year, you saw me. I toned down everything.
yeah,
Yeah, I messed around, but not as much as not compared to what you and your boys did. Because I remember I was
not yeah,
in the ag classes, and you saw me. I had a busy
yeah,
schedule.
yeah,
Going to ag class, doing other stuff, going out of the farm.
yeah.
And
You did.
I remember when I took ag classes, I loved it. I did a lot of projects. I had two projects that won first place. Um, Obviously, with the help of a friend as well. It was a team effort. But they were a science project, and oh boy, I remember I had one project named Project Rico, and I think I told you about it, but it made me go crazy because I remember I named it Project Rico because it made me go
Yeah.
crazy because it took blood, sweat, and tears just to even make them because we had a short amount of time to get it done, and um, it like what did we have like maybe like 2 3 months, and I believe the actual building process took me about 1 week. What
Yeah.
should have taken me 1 month took me about a week, I believe. I think I don't remember too much, but it took me about a
Bruh.
week. But once I got it all done, I felt a huge sign of relief. I'm like, oh, that's done. I don't ever want to do that again. I don't want to be rushing a project because in the ag classes, when the ag teacher's like, they're like, hey Hunter, can you build me this? And I tell them like, sure. Well, what is the time frame? What is the time window for it to get done? They're like, oh no, just get it done whenever you can. Now when I don't have a set schedule when this needs to be done, I kind of set my own. I'm like, okay, well, I want to get this done by this date, and then I'll get it done by that date in good quality. But other than that, that was like all sophomore year. Junior year, I
Yeah.
took ROC, as you probably saw. That's where I took
Yeah.
ag diesel mechanics,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and
I remember that. I remember that.
and for those of you who know me, that's where I first started at John Deere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then COVID hit, ruined a lot of our
Yeah.
time. You know, remember what is it?
Oh yeah.
No
We
one
did.
was doing their work online during that time.
Oh yeah, bro. Like, yeah. No one was doing work. I'm pretty sure I had my camera on, but like I had my camera
Yeah,
angled in a way where my
I had
light
my
will
camera on,
block
but
my
whenever
eyes. And I
teacher
was just
didn't
using my
record it, I didn't
phone.
have it on. But then I remember there was a point like no one really started logging on to
Oh
classes, and
yeah,
then
same
that's
man.
where what is it, the governor started, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna do this pass or no pass. If you have like what a C or higher, you'll pass, and you had a D or below, you failed. Yeah, those
Yeah,
those
yeah,
those were
yeah.
terrible times. I ruined my internship because I had to end that early.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Um, what else?
Oh yeah.
Senior year, well, yeah, we never really got one.
Yeah, honestly, like I remember, I think what my boys said that no one's gonna remember senior year, only
Yeah, for graduation,
only
and
the
then
day
showing
when we
up
have to
for graduation,
practice
which I
for
believe practicing for
graduation. That was the
graduation
only
was the day
day.
of graduation.
Yeah, it was in the morning. It was in the morning. It was in the morning at like 8 a.m. And then like I remember seeing all the folks that that we haven't seen in person
Yeah,
like
I'll say like yeah, in a year and a
in
half.
like a year and a half, right? Yeah, it was a year and a half. I haven't seen anyone in a year and a half, and then like that day, a lot of us, like a lot of folk changed. Some folks weren't there at all. I mean, then then yeah, and then some of my boys, we did our same antics um, on day of graduation. Like, I remember one of my boys. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, guys, um, and if you do know him, then great. But so this particular friend of mine,
Oh yeah,
he
I know
was
him.
famous for
Yep, I remember
wearing
him.
only slippers, no matter
This
yeah,
this guy, it could
no
be
matter
what is it,
where we
raining,
what
and since our
season.
school is
I
a
remember
swamp,
the only
he'll
time.
walk through that mud. His feet will be covered in mud and everything.
Yeah,
My boy will still be wearing sandals and shorts. I don't think he even wore the
yeah.
jacket at all.
No, he did wear a jacket, and I know he wore a jacket when it was like raining and actually cold, but he always wore shorts. The only time I know he had shoes in his bag. I think wrestling and
Every
for his
single day, and
sports,
then
but besides that, he just wore flip flops every single day, and he wore flip flops on
he had it.
stage
He wanted to finish off
on
strong.
graduation too.
He
So
wanted to
that
finish
was
what
pretty
he
nice.
started. What is it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Honestly. most of us, we don't remember our senior years. You got, yeah, for the class of
Yeah.
2021, we don't remember
Um, did
our
like
senior
out of
year.
curiosity,
Yeah,
did you
since
ever go to any
COVID
dances or
was too
anything that that we were
restrictive.
able to go, either sophomore,
But
junior, obviously senior year, and there wasn't any.
I mean, sophomore year, the Sage dance. I went with the girl
I went
which I
to,
was with at the
I
time,
went to,
and
but obviously I remember you
yeah,
telling
I
me
think
and
that was the only time I actually
the
went.
person I was with,
Yeah, yeah,
that we wore the wrong color because we didn't even know. No one
yeah,
told us that the theme was white, and I was
yeah,
never told.
yeah, dude. Yeah,
No,
wait,
well, the thing is, no one gave me a
bro,
flyer or
it
anything,
was
and I
on the
didn't see any
flyer.
flyers. I didn't had
There was
Instagram
no
at the time.
flyer.
I kid
It
you
was on
not,
the
kid you
Instagram
not, Sierra.
page. It
I
was
only
on the
had
Instagram
Instagram. I
page.
only got Instagram
Oh, bro,
junior year. That's when I had Instagram.
bro,
I didn't had Instagram. I didn't had Instagram
bro. They posted
freshman,
everything on Instagram. Like,
sophomore, and halfway through
bro,
junior year until COVID happened, and that's where I got Instagram because I think I had your phone number, but I didn't. Yeah, I think I had your phone number at the time, but we didn't use it. We ended up using Instagram instead when I texted you. So I got Instagram, and then yeah, but I did not know
yeah,
that there was
yeah,
a flyer like yeah, come dressed in white, and and yeah.
yeah, all white. And then this fool and him wore
Well,
him and then the person he
what
went
was it?
with
Red?
was wearing red, like a bright red.
Let me. I'll remember it. Hang
It
on.
was red. It was a bright damn red. I can still remember that.
Hang on.
Dude, I
Let
can
me
still
pull up a
remember it.
photo. So
It
I
was
can remember
red. It was
because
red. I swear.
I wasn't wearing full red. I had some black. I think I had a red button-up shirt, black pants, dress shoes. Uh, no, I think it was a red tie. Was it a red
And
tie?
like a black
Yeah, I think it was a red
tie.
tie. I have the photo, but I don't know. You
I
continue.
think
You
it's a
continue
black
what happened
tie.
with that dance while I pull up
I
this
don't
photo.
know. Yeah, but yeah, dude, like yeah. So in this dance, it was so. For those who don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the Sage dance that happens in the early part of the not the early part of the year, but I would say like around like the November ish time is when I remember them doing it. So this is when a girl would ask the guy instead, just a little, to to mix things up a little bit. But yeah, so at that dance, I was with the person I was with, and a few of my other boys. Not my one of my boys. They went with their I think friend slash girlfriend at the time, and then my other friend from other classes. They also went with one of our mutual friends over there. And, yeah, we just had fun, And then I remember at the end of the night, which was like only like an hour of dancing, which was kind of lame, right? It was in the cafeteria too, so. But we, I remember the picture
Yeah.
was so it was basically us in a group, right? It just like hugging around, and I was on the floor. I was on the floor with my. It's kind of like if you see those French girl paintings where like she's laying ground and her one of her leg is crossed over her other leg, and she's like looking at the painter. Yeah, that's how I was, and then yeah, I remember that it was a fun night
No, I wasn't wearing red.
for
Okay,
that dance.
sorry to
But
cut you
yeah,
off.
besides that,
I
no,
no,
I
I
didn't
was
go to
wearing
dance.
red.
I
It
was
was a
planning to
red
go to.
shirt, but I wasn't
You
full
weren't wearing
red. It was
red?
black,
Yeah, yeah.
dress shoes and all that stuff. And I think she had a little bit of red, but it was but mixed in was black. In a way, we're like if you were to think about it, we dress up like for a red carpet theme.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
no one knew. I did not know that we had to wear white, which I felt a bit embarrassed, but it's fine. Things happen. But and after that, I never attend any other
Yep.
dances or things like that.
Yeah. Besides that, I mean, I was planning to attend the senior formal and the prom with a girl from one of my classes. But besides that,
Yeah,
nah.
I
I
was
mean,
at that time. So I remember I was
it
in
got
like
canceled at once COVID hit. But
this
yeah,
person that I was with at the time, do prom of junior year, but COVID happened. And I'm like, I remember someone put an event, but it was still when COVID was happening. I'm like no, I shouldn't because COVID cases are rising.
yeah, yeah. And like I saw it, and I asked my boys if they're going to go. I was like, nah. Since like,
$50 per
I mean, the
ticket.
price wasn't that bad. It was like what 50? It was like $50. Yeah, yeah, $50 per person.
I think it was like in
The
Lamont
place
or
was,
something.
I don't know. It seemed sketchy. Right. I didn't know if
It was out. It was out. It was out
Lamont.
by
No, it was
those
like in.
where all the
It's like,
ranches are at.
yeah. No, it wasn't Lamont. There's like,
Yeah, I think it was either in Lamont because I highly doubt it
yeah,
would have
yeah,
been in
yeah, yeah,
Arvin or
yeah.
anything.
Um, no, it wasn't Arvin. It was like somewhere close to home here. Yeah, but yeah, the place was just like in those like it was like very sparse, dude. Like it was sketchy, but from the
Yeah, I
stories and
didn't.
stuff, it was pretty nice. But
Nope.
I just didn't go because COVID and stuff,
Yeah, because I
and no
was
one
big
was
on
wearing masks or
like hey,
anything.
I'm not
Right?
trying to get sick because obviously during the time I was working. Well, I started working a bit, so I needed to stay well. But other than that, what is it, senior? Yeah, like obviously, the only thing I remember is just being on class, being in bed half the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Remember once I accidentally turned on my camera while I was in bed. You saw my morning face, like, oh, what the hell?
For
And then once I realized, I'm
real.
like, once the teacher's like, oh, hi, Guadalupe, and I'm like, hello, and then I turn off my camera,
Yeah, yeah.
and the teacher called me like you just woke up. I'm like, and then I had to reply back, I'm like, no, but that's how I normally am. It takes me a while to wake up. But I told her, I remember I told the teacher, I'm like, I promise I'm listening. But yeah, other than that, like, have you ever had any instance where you accidentally turned on the camera?
Yeah. Nah. Nah, since senior, it wasn't that bad. Well, I turned on the camera because I was in band. Oh yeah, for those who know me and for those who don't, I'm gonna say again. I did band for 4 years straight. I played the trumpet. Right. Um. Yeah, I had to put my camera on for band class, and I had to play in front of my uh my camera on Zoom with my trumpet, which is kind of weird. But yeah, besides that class, not much where I had to actually put on my. I
I
mean, for
only turned
AP
on my camera
Physics, I had
for
to put my
ag
camera on,
econ
but
and
besides
government,
that,
but
not
that's
much
pretty
really.
much shit. No other class really required it. I remember I took ag vet science, and being in
Yeah,
mind,
yeah,
I know that I don't know anything medical wise for animals. I know more mechanical wise, like how some people like to nickname me. Oh,
yeah.
I'm the doctor version for cars or for little lawnmowers or heavy equipment. And I took vet science. I'm like, then like this crap is easy. And I passed that class with a high A. And that's where I'm like, ooh, maybe I should be a vet. But then I'm like, nah, I like doing diesel work instead. I like helping out farmers. But then, what after that was it? Some time passed by. Mainly only text
Yeah,
through
yeah,
through Instagram and stuff. And then was it until recently?
yeah,
Well, I just called you up randomly and just said, and then I pitched you this idea of making this podcast where like, hey Sierra,
yeah.
like, what do you think about podcasts? And you from the tone, it sounded like you thought I was crazy or something.
It was a bit, it was far fetched, but but then here we are doing this
Yep,
first
and
episode of the
he liked it,
Kickback
and that's where
Bonfire
I'm like, hey,
podcast.
I don't want it just to be me by myself. So he's also one of the creators as
Yeah, yeah,
as well as me. And then I don't know, like I don't know if there's anything else
yeah,
you want to
yeah.
talk about or add on, or I don't know if you want to talk about your weekend or something like that.
No, no, I think that's about it. Because the first episode was just for us, to talk about, how how we made this podcast came to be, how introduce ourselves as the hosts. Besides that, not much.
There's
Is
none
there
that I
anything
could
else you
think of
might
right
want to add
now,
before we
like
end this episode off?
off the top of my head. But yeah, I think that'll be all for this podcast for this first episode.
Hmm.
You know, for those of you who hopefully listened to it or got to this end, we will gladly accept your all feedback. Of what we can improve and things you guys want us to talk about.
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
us know.
Since we're yeah, so all right. Well, I guess that's it for this episode, guys. So let me do the outro really quickly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the Kickback Bonfire podcast's first episode. The intro. That's probably the title, I guess. um, if you have, please leave us any feedback. Again, we'll be posting this on our YouTube channel, and please follow our socials. Um, on Instagram, we are known as at the Kickback Bonfire. Wait, yeah. So it's all lowercase. Kickback Bonfire underscore podcast is our Instagram page, and we have a link to our Discord server for any further info announcements. That's where we'll be posting most of our information, and which will be then later posted to our socials. But please check please check and look all for all that in the link in the description. Besides that, well,
Yeah,
should we give our
you
final
know,
greetings, Hunter?
thank you for everyone for listening to it, and can't wait to hear you guys' responses of what you guys want us to improve on and what to do.
All right. We will see you. We'll see you, folks, next time, whenever that may be. But after we post this first video, we will let you guys know of our posting schedule, so you guys can either anticipate or just you know wing it and remember that we post an episode. But well, I guess this final greetings from the Kickback Bonfire podcast for tonight. Well, everybody, we will say goodbye for now, and we will see you next time.